Today on Judge Porter.
During work, I was informed that Mr. Dillard's son was very ill and he needed a bone marrow transplant.
Wait a minute. I want to make sure I heard this right. Oh boy. I want to make sure I'm hearing this right. You received an email saying that you were terminated?
I do have a business to run, and we're not a nonprofit. We're not a charitable business. She was more than just an assistant.
All rise. The court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Porter will be presiding.
Hello, everyone. Please be seated. We're here for case number 4331, Danielle Eubanks versus Frank Dillard. If you're here, please come to the podium. Ms. Eubanks, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Dillard, good morning.
How you doing, Judge?
Ms. Eubanks, it shows that you are suing for $120,000.
Yes, that's
emotional
correct.
distress, I think.
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
and there appears to be some other things. Can you tell us what's going on with this case?
Well, Your Honor, I was wrongfully terminated by Mr. Dillard here. I'm a former employer of his. I worked on this job for roughly 5 years.
What did you do at his company, ma'am, if I may ask?
I was an assistant.
Okay. Oh, please continue.
Okay, so during work, I was informed that Mr. Dillard's son was very ill and he needed a bone marrow transplant. So my heart went out to him immediately, and I thought, what can I do to help? So out of the goodness of my heart, I offered to see if I would qualify to be a donor for his son. I got tested. I was a perfect match to be a bone marrow donor for his son. So I do the surgery, which was a very painful surgery. But still, I didn't mind because I knew I was doing something, that was heartfelt for him. And my doctor said that I needed to be out for approximately a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks. During the whole time I was out, I was in communication with him, letting him know how I was doing. And 7 days into my recovery, I received an email stating that my position was being eliminated and that I was being terminated from my job. And I didn't understand, I did something, very heartfelt for his son. I saved his life, and he had the audacity to fire me.
Hold up, wait a minute. I want to make sure I heard this right. Oh boy. I want to make sure I'm hearing this right. You received an email saying that you were terminated?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Please continue, ma'am.
So this has caused so much emotional distress. I've been nauseous, dizzy. There is no way I would be able to return to work so fast. He didn't even care or give me the opportunity. He said that I was taking too long to heal. It was like no compassion. It's like he got what he needed, and he just threw me out like I was trash.
Mr. Dillard, good
Yes.
morning, sir.
Morning, Your Honor.
You heard what she had to say. Is there some factual statements in that?
The part about my son, I've always been her debt.
Mm-hmm. How old is your son?
My son was 12 at the time.
He's 12 years old.
Excuse me. I get a little emotional about it. He had a rare form of leukemia. And we put out communiques to try and get bone marrow throughout the company.
How did you put out that information?
Through the company newsletters and see if we can get matches within my company. And so we also used the hospital's database, and there weren't any hits there, but Miss Eubanks, and I'll always be indebted to her and always have a certain love for her, for she saved my son's life. I'm not disputing that.
Okay, so how do we get to the part where she got terminated?
Well, first of all, I do have a business to run.
This is true.
I don't want to portray myself, even though I'm being portrayed as a villain, because it seems like she was terminated after she saved my son's life. And I think
she was terminated after she saved your son's life.
There's more to it than that. They're mutually exclusive from each other. I mean, she did respond and was a match for my son, and my whole family will always be in her debt for that. And my son is doing much better now, and I'm
happy to hear that, sir.
Yeah, that's the most important part. That being said, I do have a business to run, and we're not a nonprofit. We're not a charitable business. She was more than just an assistant. We run a project management company, and our clients ask for project management support for their projects within, in this field. Her division was IT. So anything related to IT, she will be assigned to that. Okay. So she was more than just assistant. She was a part of the company, and she was held responsible based on performances, because we are a performance-based company. Our clients have to be happy with the performance, otherwise we lose clients and we don't make money. Okay, so that being the whole premise of the other side of this coin here is that I'm running a business, and she was even given an added bonus, which I don't do, strictly because she did what she did. So she was paid. You gave her a bonus? Yeah, she was paid a bonus for that. That was my way, since I'm running the company, of showing our appreciation for what she had done, strictly related to the health.
The bonus was basically compensation for the bone marrow that
what she was
donated.
Going through. Exactly. It's a painful procedure. They have to go in.
How much in compensation did you provide?
Based on her salary, she got a certain percentage.
No. How much was the bonus based on her salary?
Not
based on her salary.
$15,000.
You gave her $15,000. So this $15,000 was for the bone marrow.
Specifically for her, right, for what she did. I felt like a bonus was, normally we're incentive based, and she'd get a bonus based on performance.
This is where I'm getting confused. You keep using the word bonus. Bonus is job related. This is not job related. And you said earlier that her termination and her saving your son's life are not one and the same.
That's correct.
So, but you keep saying bonus.
Well,
this isn't a bonus.
Well, from auditing perspectives, the only way I could frame it is I had to make it seem that, but I really wanted to give her something.
From auditing purposes.
Well, for making sure
So you told your accountant that this $15,000 was for a bonus for her, for what? For her job performance?
Well, for what we call personal. There are certain categories that are based on performance, but it's also based on personal that are undefined, that I don't have to be specific with, and I put it under that category.
So that's what, under miscellaneous?
They don't call it miscellaneous, but it's more of a personal information division and those kinds of things. But yeah, basically it's a miscellaneous. Wow. So I don't have to disclose specifically that it was based on performance.
I have another word for that, by the way. You know what that sounds like to me?
No, I don't.
Bribery. But that's
it's called. I call it appreciation. Okay,
it sounds like bribery.
Because I don't give out
sounds
money
like a payoff
that way.
to me.
No, I don't have to pay off.
Because if you're telling your accountant, hey, we need to write this $15,000 off. Let's just put this under miscellaneous.
Because a payoff implies that I'm trying to cover up something. I'm rewarding her for something she did do for my son. So I'm not paying. That's not a bribe. A bribe was to get something.
But see, here's the thing. You're rewarding her, and then you're writing it off. And then I'm assuming you're writing this off on your taxes too? Is that
Let's
what
spe-
we do?
Well, I don't, our accounting team takes care of all that. So.
Did you start a side company? I'm just curious to make sure that she got $15,000.
No.
This is
from
from
the regular profits from all our clients
Okay.
for part of the business.
I'm not a tax lawyer. I'm not familiar with tax law, but this
No.
sounds a little shady.
Well,
But please continue.
Okay,
Please continue.
I don't think it's shady, but so that being said, okay, she was given ample time and we saw that she was kind of milking this time off. We talked to our own medical people, and she should have been coming back to work within a few weeks.
Did you talk to her medical people?
No, we have our own medical people.
Got that. Understand that. Did you talk to her medical people?
Not directly, not me personally. We got all the records, and our own medical staff evaluated the process.
I got that.
including the ones from my son's care.
Yeah, I got that. But what I don't understand is if she's going through a procedure that involves your son, at some point in time, you have to use the same medical people. Am I
Right.
correct in saying that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was
And
done.
if those medical people are telling her you need X amount of time to recover,
right.
why are you not receiving the same information?
Well, our medical team is consult with the medical team that did the actual transplant and the treatment of my son. And so that's where we got our information from.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do we
So
have...
we use the same, we got the information from the same doctors and nurses and anesthesiologists that treated my son and treated Miss Eubanks.
But
Okay.
but they're telling her one thing and they're telling you something. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not going to put anything out. I'm not dealing with a med-mal
Well, let me
situation.
ask you a question. Has your son fully recovered?
Yes, he's fully recovered. A very
Your
painful
son has
process.
fully recovered from a bone marrow transplant.
He's right now from the PET scans. He's cancer free. After
No. That's what I mean. From the surgeries, especially transplant, takes you time to recover.
They have to inject. They have to take the bone marrow.
And you're
from her.
telling me that your son has received this and he's 100% ready to go.
He's cancer free. He's still weak.
No, I'm asking if he's cancer free.
I'm not saying that he's 100%
Medically
ready to go do athletics and things like that, but he's functioning. He's back at school. He can do normal things. He is limited about activities. He has limited about activities because he doesn't
So he's limited, but she's fired even though she's also limited.
She was fired solely based on performance. Again, I'm trying to separate. I started this whole thing with, I don't want to be the villain here because I have a business to run. And one thing was the appreciation of what you did for my son.
I'm just curious, how bad? Yes, ma'am.
7 days, Your Honor. I was out for 7 days.
She did say that.
And received the email. You can't. How do you determine when my body is supposed to heal? My doctor said a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks. So how do you only give me 7 days?
There were other ways to be able to perform your duties by not coming into the office.
But how do you determine that? You're not the medical
I didn't
doctor.
determine that. We already mentioned, and I don't really want to address Ms. Eubanks directly, so I'll address to the court.
Okay.
That we went through, I already stated, we went through the process of finding out the status and based on the recovery of my son and all the other things that went into that. But then I had to step away from that and deal with the business at hand. I'm running a business.
How
and
bad?
what I have,
how bad? I'm just curious. How bad was her performance prior?
Well, this is what I'm getting to. Thanks for the segue. But I have her last. I have 3 of her last performance reviews I'd like to present to the court.
No. I'm
Okay.
going to take your word for it. I'm going to take your word
Okay.
for it.
Well, the performances
so her
were below-
performance prior to
Below expectations from 3 different clients and 3 different objectives that we had set for her. We do goals every year.
It was not satisfactory.
They were below what we call, there's either meet expectations, exceed expectations, or below expectations. And all her ratings were below expectations, meaning expectations of a certain date to deliver the deliverables, if you will.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I have those 3 here to present to you.
No.
Okay.
You don't have to, I'm going to take your word for it. What you're saying is that her performance was not satisfactory.
From a business perspective.
Prior to...
Not from a humanity perspective.
No. It's strictly
she's an
business.
ideal, from a humanistic point of view, she's the best. She saved my son's life.
No,
Okay.
we're talking about business now.
Strictly about
From
business,
a business
yes.
standpoint,
Yes.
she sucked. That's what you're saying.
Sorry?
She sucked.
Well, I wouldn't use those phrases, but okay. She was below expectations, below par.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's where I'm lost at. Here's where I'm lost. you put out a memorandum company-wide that your son needed this bone marrow transplant, hoping that somebody within the company would read this and say, you know what, I may be a match. Because correct me if I'm wrong, ma'am, you had to do testing to make
Correct.
sure that you were a match prior.
Correct. Yes.
When the testing occurred and did you guys ever speak prior to this thing? Say, hey, I'm a match. I'm going to go through it. Did you guys had this conversation, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You knew that
Yes.
she was a match.
After we went to the hospital.
Wait a minute. You knew that this woman here was a match.
Yes, sir.
Okay. She accepted the call, correct? Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
You knew that this woman was a match and she accepted the call to do the bone marrow to save your son.
Correct.
You didn't have a problem with that, correct?
No.
There was no problem with that.
The key is the match. Correct.
Yeah, okay. It went through. Your son is okay. You feel good about what you did, correct?
Yes.
You feel good about what she
Absolutely.
did for that.
I'll always be indebted to her and always appreciate
Here's
it.
where I'm having an issue with. She was a poor employee. Her performance was below standard, which tells me that prior to this operation, you had already made in your mind that you were going to terminate her.
No, I was.
So
that's
what was the factor that said that I need to terminate her?
That's a heck of a jump, Your Honor. I mean, that's
No, because prior you just said that she was a poor employee. You have documentation
Yes.
that she's a poor employee.
Correct.
So in your mind already, she needs to go. Correct?
At some point in time, she needed to be evaluated and possibly
When
let
did
go.
that
Correct.
evaluation take place,
Well,
sir?
there's certain times that, let's face it, the treatment of my son became
No.
paramount.
This is
Became
totally
paramount.
different. Now
Okay.
we're still, like you said, we're on business right now.
Yeah, I agree.
When did the evaluation take place, sir?
Well, we do them quarterly, so
Quarterly.
yeah.
So quarterly, it
Yeah,
just
there's
so
mid-year
happened.
objective. I should
So
say mid-year.
it just so happened while she was out, that's when her evaluation came up. That what you're
No,
telling
there
me?
was mid-year objectives, and her performance was always subpar, like I mentioned.
So prior to the operation, her evaluation was poor, and it was already put out there. She needs to be terminated. Am I correct in saying that?
I would say that the timing does seem a little odd. Yes, I wouldn't disagree with that.
but
However-
again, prior to the operation, so we're clear, and so she's clear. She was going to be terminated because of her poor evaluation.
I'm not going to say she was going to be terminated. I can't make that
So
determination prior. Okay.
When did
Things
this
shifted.
evaluation come up, sir?
The evaluations were based on the 3 reports that we got from the client.
See, you're
So
trying
if
to
you're trying
dodge.
to get-
You're trying to dodge the question. When
You're trying to get me to nail down
When-
the exact timing when my focus was going back
do you
and
know
forth.
when your birthday is?
Of course I do.
So you have a date.
Yes.
Do you have a date when her evaluation went through?
Her evaluation wasn't actually up for mid-year. Mid-year happens in June sometime, okay? So
Look at here, man. I'm gonna ask you one more time. When did her evaluation go through? What
June.
date?
June, at the end of June, June 30th.
Okay. Here's the thing. She was fired during that evaluation?
Not during, but soon after.
Soon after.
Correct.
So again, based on that information that you had, you guys were going to fire her, correct?
Based on after the
That's
evaluation.
based on her performance evaluations.
Evaluation.
There was a very good chance that we were going to fire this young lady.
I wouldn't say it was guaranteed, but based on the performances,
Yes.
there was.
Yes.
Company-wide,
It's okay to say yes.
for all employees,
It's okay
with
to say
these type
yes.
of evaluations,
Yes.
we would have looked
Yes.
at termination.
Yes, we were going to fire her. So here's my question. If this woman here has a poor evaluation and she was most likely going to be fired, why on God's green earth would you accept her bone marrow for your son?
Because, like I mentioned earlier, one thing has nothing to do with the other. You already said, you admitted that we're talking business. Now we're talking my
business,
personal.
yeah,
but
exactly,
now you're asking me a question
exactly.
based on my son's
Yeah,
health.
because you know what
That's
it is?
separate.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to fire you. I know I'm going to fire you, but you got something I want.
Well,
Hold on, but let me finish. You got something I want. You got something I need. So I'm not going to say anything about your evaluations. I'm not going to say anything about your performance. I'm not going to show you any of this information. I'm just going to wait for you to give me that bone marrow. And as soon as I get it, your ass is gone.
But that's
exactly what happened. Let me ask you a question. Are you married, sir?
Yes, of course.
Is your wife happy that your son's alive?
Of course.
How do you think your wife would have felt if he would have died? If you guys couldn't find a donator, someone to do the donation?
I can't even think about that scenario. I don't want to think about.
You know who else couldn't think about that scenario? This woman right here. This woman right here couldn't think about. Do you have any children, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
You know what it would be like? You ever thought about what it'd be like to lose one of your kids?
I don't even want to imagine.
We can't imagine. We agree on that. We can't imagine
because
losing our children.
You see, sir,
and the
here's
things
the
that
thing.
we would do for our children.
Here's the
and
thing.
That's why we're so indebted to her and always have a special place for her in our family because of what she did. But that's the separate part that you already mentioned. That's based on the personal aspect.
We will always have a special place within our family.
That's correct. She
Why
saved my
didn't he
son's
fire
life.
me before?
But that's.
I donated.
But that part's not being questioned here, correct?
Oh, it's being questioned.
No,
it's being questioned. You know why? Because this side's very slimy. This is slimy, my friend. This is about as slimy as it gets. You got what you wanted to save your son's life, and then you had the audacity, the person who saved your son's life, you know what? I got what I wanted. You're out. See you later.
I'm not the villain here. We had to run a business. I have other employees.
I'm very hurt that your son, who is 12 years old, got a bone marrow, because what's going to happen one day, your son is going to become a man. And as he's going to be going through life, the question is going to come up, how did his life be saved? And it's going to be that this woman dedicated herself to that call that you put out. And then your son is going to say to you, you fired a woman, you put her in a financial bind after she saved my life. I would love to know how you're going to explain that to your son, because you can't sit here and give me X's and O's and business numbers and performance evaluations when it comes to someone's life. I would love to see how you explain that when that man is 18 years old, when he's 25 years old, when he has children and the grandchildren go to you and say, Granddaddy, why did you fire the woman who saved our father's life? Are you going to try to explain evaluations at that point? Bro, this is just evil. This is about as evil as it comes. I cannot believe I'm in court hearing this, because if you knew that, you should have done the decent thing and fired her and say, we'll just find somebody else. But I can't risk that.
Excuse me?
Yeah. The decent thing would have been
The decent thing would let my son die just to save a job? Is that what you're saying?
Do you have a job now?
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you have a job now?
Hold
on, wait a minute. You don't have a job?
I do not.
You have no finances coming in? So your children are at risk right now.
Correct.
This isn't just about a job. This is about somebody's welfare.
Understood. And hence why she was paid a bonus for it.
What $15,000 going to do for this woman for the rest of the year? You tell me.
Anybody who calls about future employment for her won't get a negative review or recommendation from us.
Well, if she's not,
so she can find another job.
If she's not going to get, if you're not going to provide a negative review, then that means that she did a great job.
I can't believe we're drawing a correlation between.
So what you're saying is she's negative. She sucked at my job.
Your Honor,
but she'd probably be good for somebody else.
All due respect, don't put words in my mouth.
Which means that what you're going to do, you're going to lie to the other people just so she can get a job?
I'm not lying to anyone. I'm telling you how we run a business.
Are you going to tell them why you fired her?
Tell who how I... No.
If she goes for a recommendation,
I don't have to give
Oh, so you're not going to
hold
tell
on a second. Recommendations that come to any company, either
Why?
you give a glowing recommendation, or you give a negative, or you give a neutral
But
one.
you just
yes,
said that you're not going to do that.
I said I was going to give a recommendation of a
You
neutral
said you'll give a
recommendation.
good one. Did you not say that?
Did I say what?
Did you not just say that you would give a good one?
We give her a recommendation that was positive.
A positive. That's the word you use. Positive.
Positive.
So you're going to give her a positive recommendation, but you're not going to tell them that you fired her because
I
of poor
don't have to, by
evaluation.
law, tell anyone that she's been fired.
Exactly, because you like to hold back information.
I don't hold back information.
Yes,
I follow
you do.
the guidelines of
Just
the
like
BBB.
just like you didn't tell her you got a poor evaluation and I'm going to fire you as soon as you give me my son's bone marrow, because you like to hold back information until you get what you want.
I don't draw that correlation, and that's really, when you put it that way, that's kind of a sad situation when you thought I would, for my son's
No, it's
sake.
a sad situation that you think that this woman can live off $15,000 for the rest of the year to take care of her children. Because you think we're talking about business when I'm talking about somebody's welfare. And you don't even give a damn. Because you know what? Your wife is happy. Your son is happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant $120,000 to her. And this case is adjourned.
I can't believe that I had to even take this here. This man is clearly heartless. He pretty much just got what he needed from me and just kicked me to the curb like I was yesterday's trash. But I am grateful that the judge ruled in my favor, and that way I can just go on with my life. And I hope that his son grows to be a better man than he is.
Well, first of all, as I led with my arguments, I'm not a villain here. My son was sick. We put out communiques. She responded. We'll always be grateful for that. But I have a business to run, and business is business. And sometimes business can be cutthroat. I do agree. But the judge was really callous on certain situations, drawing comparisons with paying her to save my son and losing her job. And I'm also basically like bribing her to save my son's life when the databases were searching everywhere and she happened to fit the requirements. So, you know, we'll always, like I said, we'll always have a place for her in our family. If she needs a job, I can help her with that. But I totally disagree with this. And business has to be run a real way that sometimes people get caught in the switches.